So I can now take you live to the Ministry of Finance, where the minister is updating the country on government Eurobond program.
21 days. Investors had two options to choose from. The first option, what we call the par option, which has no nominal haircut, which has lower interest rates, but also longer tenors, up to 2037. And the second one is the disco option, which has 37% nominal haircut, higher interest rates between 5 to 6%, and shorter tenors, 2029 to 2035. Both options entitle bondholders to receive compensation for interest payment arrears up to December 2023 in the form of post-default interest notes, what we call PDIs. I am delighted, ladies and gentlemen, to announce to you that after all the negotiations, we have achieved an overwhelming success. We obtained more than 98% consent, which is significantly higher than the 65% threshold from bondholders following the launch of the exchange offer and consent solicitation in September 2024. And so the threshold we expected to achieve was 65%. What we have achieved is more than 98%. And this is the reason we are very happy about the overwhelming success of this consent solicitation. This impressive results surpasses international benchmarks and demonstrates the strong support of Ghana's bondholder community across Africa and in the international markets. It is for this reason I want to thank all our bondholders, the bondholder community, for standing by Ghana, for working with us to achieve this feat. As a result of this successful debt exchange, the country will exchange almost 13 billion US dollars in Eurobonds for new bonds in the coming weeks. This development, ladies and gentlemen, cures Ghana's default on international bonds, paving the way for normalized financial relationships with rating agencies and international markets. In a sense, Ghana has now restructured over 90% of its eligible external debt. Over 90% of our eligible external debt, marking a significant milestone in our economic recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, we have achieved significant debt relief in record time. By this feat, we accomplished a remarkable milestone in our debt restructuring journey, completing our Eurobond debt exchange under 9 months. I do not want to assume that the other countries that have done their restructuring didn't do well. But compared with what they have done, ours has really been faster. And this is why I prefer to say our restructuring journey has been faster and bigger. Faster in terms of time, 9 months. Zambia did 3 years. Sri Lanka actually declared a debt moratorium 6 months before we started. They have not yet concluded their Eurobond, their restructuring. And so apart from being faster, by all international standards, it is also bigger because we have achieved the biggest relief in recent history as far as Eurobond debt restructuring is concerned. So my friends from the media, if you want to quote me, say faster and bigger. Ghana has accomplished a remarkable milestone in our debt restructuring journey, completing the Eurobond debt exchange under 9 months. This swift action showcases the government's unwavering commitment to restoring financial and debt sustainability. The agreement with bondholders has brought significant relief, including a 37% reduction in the nominal value of Ghana's debt, equivalent to a $5 billion reduction in our debt stock, and $4.3 billion in debt service savings during the IMF program. Additionally, average interest rates on the bonded debt has decreased from over 8% to less than 5%. And so let me summarize again the benefits for the sake of emphasis. The debt reduction in our stock of debt is $5 billion as a result of the 37% reduction in the nominal value of the debts. Additionally, a debt service savings of $4.3 billion during the IMF program. And this is coming also from the fact that the interest rates were negotiated down from over 8% to less than 5%. And importantly, let me also state that our deal does not have value recovery instruments. And when I talk about value recovery instruments, these are instruments that require the state to pay more in terms of interest when economic circumstances improve in the country. And so if we had negotiated a value recovery instrument in our deal, with the uptick in our growth, that would have meant that we'll be paying more than what we have negotiated currently as far as interest rates are concerned to our bond holders. And so it's a testament of the strength of the negotiation Ghana showcased during these debt restructuring discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, but this also means that we are dedicated to advancing economic recovery to set the stage for improved fiscal management and sustainable growth. Our debt exchange also entails some non-financial clauses which are becoming the new market standards. Number one of this is what we call the loss reinstatement clause, which protects bondholders by reinstating their nominal haircut, which they have lost for now, in case of a new default by Ghana. This will ensure that we continue to be prudent in our debt management to prevent future defaults. Number two is information sharing clause, which requires us to timely publish our debt figures so we can promote debt transparency and accountability. And number three is what we call most favored creditor clause, which requires Ghana to treat other commercial creditors the same way. In other words, we cannot treat other commercial creditors more favorably than bondholders. And this is the principle that we call comparability principle. These clauses demonstrate Ghana's dedication to responsible debt management, transparency, and alignment with international best practices. As far as the impact of the restructuring on our debt to GDP, as a measure of their sustainability, I would like to update you also on what this means for us as a country. And so without any adjustment, if we didn't do any adjustment or restructuring, our debt to GDP level in present value terms would have reached 109% in 2028. But because of the adjustments we have made, fiscal adjustment as well as the debt restructuring, we are going to see our debt to GDP in present value terms reduce to 55% in 2028. And this is the order of the reduction. The fiscal adjustment efforts we continue to make under our fiscal consolidation efforts is bringing down the debt to GDP level in present value terms from the 109% in 2028 to 81% in 2028. Following that was the DDEP, the Domestic Debt Exchange Programme, which will bring it down by 10 percentage points to 71%. Our agreement with the OCC, the Official Creditor Committee, our official bilateral creditors, which we concluded also, as you know, will bring it further down by 6 percentage points. And finally, the deal completed with the Eurobond holders will bring the debt to GDP in present value terms to 55% in 2028, in line with the IMF target. This is about 10 percentage point reduction in present value terms. In my next brief on the state of the economy, I believe in November, we will provide the full extent of the impact of this on our nominal debt to GDP ratio, which certainly, as you know, will show a significant reduction. Because to be given a debt cancellation of $5 billion in your debt stock, I mean, already tells you that the debt to GDP in nominal terms will go down. So it is not only going to be in net present value terms, but also in nominal terms. And we will provide updates on this in our next review. In conclusion, Ghana's successful debt exchange is a testament to the tireless efforts and dedication of the government. This achievement marks an unprecedented success, positioning Ghana for a brighter economic future. And with this milestone, we can now close a significant chapter on our debt restructuring. Because if you know, this restructuring we have just concluded brings to about 90% of our external debts that have been restructured. If you add the DDEP, then it will mean that more than 96% of all our debt stock have been restructured. And so with this development, we can look to closing a significant chapter on our debt restructuring, shift focus towards sustainable economic growth and development, and build on the momentum of this accomplishment to drive further progress. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a painstaking journey, and for that, let me take this opportunity to thank you all, the people of Ghana, and also to thank our bondholders for working with us and standing by us and making all the sacrifices that have brought us this far. Significantly, I would like to express our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, for his leadership and sometimes personal involvement in the discussions that have accelerated the restructuring exercise, as a result of which we achieved this, as other people call it, gargantuan feat. I'd like to also express our gratitude to the steering committee of the bondholders and their advisors, as well as our own advisors, for their cooperation throughout the process. I also want to thank my Chief Director, Eva Menz, as well as my technical team, both in the Ministry of Finance and allied agencies, and also the technical team from the Bank of Ghana for their hard work and dedication to duty. We are poised to turn the page on our restructuring journey and embark on a new chapter of economic resilience and prosperity. And let me announce also that to ensure that our debt sustainability trajectory is not disrupted, we have to discipline ourselves as a country. And we are on our way to Cabinet to seek approval of amendment to the Fiscal Responsibility Act for consideration by Parliament. That will set limits on debt in order to ensure that we do not fall back into the past era of unsustainable debt, but we will showcase and commit ourselves as a country to implementing measures that will sustain our debt levels to ensure that we continue to attract investment to grow our economy for the benefit of our people. And so on this note, I thank you very much. And I have a strong team to join me to respond to your questions. I will answer the easier ones. The technical team will answer the difficult ones. So, Minister for Information, I respectfully yield to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let me also add my voice to thank you and your team and His Excellency the President. I believe that many unclear issues around this whole DDEP and debt exchange program has been laid to rest. As people had argued all over that we are going all over the world begging people to forgive us our debt. But you've seen the significant benefits that this whole exercise is bringing to our country. I believe that we are taking note very well. Our headlines will reflect exactly what has been said here. If you have any doubts before then, kindly put your questions across and competent hands are available to deal with them. So you mention your name, your media house, and then you ask the question. Thank you.
My name is Winston Kaki of Joy Business. First of all, congratulations on the success of this restructuring. I believe it's been a very tumultuous journey. Nonetheless, I would like to understand that what will this EuroBond success be, especially now that we are still under the IMF program, and also its impacts on the city and also the path towards economic recovery. I also like to understand what this offer will mean now that it's been concluded, basically on us servicing our future debts. And when will we start paying our debts?
All right, this is the one. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. Minister and your team, congratulations. I would like to know what this means for your plans as regards the capital market. Now, of course, this is going to boost confidence. Do you plan to go there? Thank you.
Okay, my name is Mona Bruce from Graphic. I know Minister has mentioned that at the next economic briefing is going to give us a breakdown of how this is going to impact on our debt to GDP. But then I want to find out, since the agreed targets with the IMF was done with, you mentioned that you were looking at 65% participation, but then we had 98%. So are we likely to see a review of the 55% debt to GDP agreement with the IMF? Are we likely to see that reviewed downwards?
Okay, I think that should be
Okay.
for the first round.
Yeah, so first question, what will be the success of this, the impact of this success on the city recovery? I mean, certainly, simply, if you were to pay $5 billion, you're going to source the $5 billion from our domestic market. And so there's going to be an influx of Forex. And to that extent, demand for Forex will be higher. And the impact on the city depreciating will certainly be likely. And now that you have that savings, you are forgiven 5 billion, it simply means that your demand to service these debts. And it's not just that, the interest rates have been negotiated down. And so the quantum of payments you would have made is gone down, and thereby will affect your demand for Forex lesser in proportion than you would have experienced if you were to pay the full extent of coupons for the servicing of this debt. And so the impact on the CD recovery is going to be positive. Secondly, with this development, Ghana is likely to get positive upgrades, right? And when you get upgrades, the international community's confidence in your economy increases, investor confidence increases, and so investors will come in more than they have done over the last 2 years to invest in your economy. When they are coming in, they are bringing in Forex, which then strengthens your currency. And so both ways, whether in terms of the savings that we are making and also the investor confidence and the investment that will be coming into Ghana, they certainly will have positive effect on the exchange rate. Then servicing our future debts. When we've started, the date we settle with the EuroBond debts, we will start paying, and we're settling in the next few weeks as we announced. So by the 98% we've achieved, we've all consented to the exchange, but the actual exchange will take place over the next 2 weeks. And once you exchange, it means that there is settlement, and therefore you have to start paying, servicing the debt. Although you will not service at the levels that you would have done because of the reduction in the interest rates, and also because of the reduction in the principal. You certainly will be paying less than you would have done. But with the official creditor committee, the official bilateral creditors, we said before that the servicing of the debt has been postponed until August after 2028. Yes. So there are different levels of creditors that we are dealing with. For the Eurobond holders, we start the servicing of the debt once we settle. And for the official bilateral creditors, the servicing has been postponed until after 2028. I hope that answers your 2 questions. The next one, plans for capital market. Do you plan to go there? We are back there. With this conclusion on the restructuring of the Eurobonds, our debt, Eurobonds are going to start trading the very day we settle. And so we are back. What I believe you wanted to ask is whether we will go out, borrowing from the capital market. And that is a decision we are yet to make. So in due course, we will announce to the world when we're going to take additional debts. But as far as going back to the capital market, we are back to the capital market because our bonds are going to start trading from the day we settle. And that is good news. Many people have said that the international capital market has abandoned Ghana, but I can tell you that with these developments, we are back, and we are formalizing and normalizing our financial relationship with international markets. And then they're likely to review debt to GDP down. No, but it's likely we may achieve the debt to GDP faster than originally planned. Okay. Yes, Deputy Minister for.
Colleagues, I hope that will be all for the Honorable Minister and his team. Somewhere, okay, please.
Honorable, thank you, opportunity, and congratulations again. You mentioned something regarding default interest notes. I didn't quite hear well. You mentioned your. Where are you from, please? Thank you. My name is Akon Moses. I report for Bloomberg. Bloomberg. I report for Bloomberg. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. You mentioned something about default interest note, and you said there's some payments until the end of 2023. Can I have some clarity on that? And how much are we talking about in terms of that payment? And what form of payment is it going to be? Is it cash or some form of another form of payment? I may want to know.
I knew you were going to ask more than one question.
So for that is just half.
But you have the floor.
We are celebrating the fact that we cut down cost and like $5 billion in savings. But the investor is crying, the person that gave us money is crying. You yet to take a decision on whether or not you go back to the capital market. How do you market Ghana again as a viable source? For the capital market is very key, where you get top dollar at relatively very good rates to help us balance issues out. Given that our cocoa, which was giving us good dollar for cheap, is almost non-existent anymore, among others. So how do you prep towards that? My last one is a comment. You know, come 2026, some categories of debt will start repaying. How are you prepping to make sure that there's sufficient buffers so that when these debts are due, we are in good shape to make good our commitments? Thank you.
He asked 3 questions, maybe we can.